Hey, I'm Jamal Simmons. Welcome to Trailblaze.
Hey Jamal, I'm Nayara Haq. We are here today to talk about the America we're becoming, the people, the politics, the policy, all of those things. And of course, we do want you to subscribe to our podcast and our channel. Jamal, we're only like 14 days out of the election. What do you got in your mind?
Wow, it's 14 days. I'm nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I just do not know what is going to happen. I think it all depends on who shows up on election day. I know we always say that, but I think that might really be true.
Yeah, the margins of error, right? Plus or minus 2 to 3 points. That's the margins between all the polls in the battleground states. And we could sit here all day and talk about how could it possibly be so close? But I don't think Democrats are the only nervous people.
Can we just get it out of our system, though? It is crazy. It is bananas that we are in the middle of an election with a guy who has been convicted of a felony, found liable for sexual abuse, fines for fraud from his company, indicted several other times, impeached twice, right? Learned nothing from his time in the White House, still can't figure out what to do in the middle of a natural disaster. And yet it's tied.
Let's add on to that. He can't complete a coherent sentence. He can't read from a basic script. And in the case of a medical emergency in the audience, his solution is to stand there and listen to music for 30 minutes. Right? I think that really broke me when it came to this is a possibility for American leadership on the world stage.
I know. It's really something bananas. It's really something. Well, what we are finding is that people are showing up. People are voting all over the place. We are seeing millions of Americans already show up and vote in states like Georgia and Michigan. So the early votes are already happening. States like Georgia and Michigan, we're seeing them all over the country. I think now there are like a dozen or so states that are already in the middle of early voting. So if you have not early voted and you live in one of those states, please check to make sure, and you should go vote as soon as possible.
I'm glad you mentioned early voting because we're seeing some really interesting data come out of there. North Carolina, for example, early voting well underway. You're seeing some record numbers. It's something that Donald Trump had discouraged before, right? But then suddenly there's a disaster that hits Appalachia and white working class. And now Donald Trump wants to see people voting remotely by mail and all these other operations. And it goes to show that all of the ideas that he puts forward are really about what works better for him. The hypocrisy doesn't bother him. It doesn't bother the MAGA people. They very clearly are in this to win. One of the places where the voting restrictions is going to bite them, though, is in Montana. And I know it's not a presidential state people are worried about. It is a balance of the Senate state, AKA, are we going to actually have national protections for abortion rights? The seat there's a carpetbagger, he, who he's a veteran, bajillionaire, made money in tech, and he shows up and says, I'm going to run against...
When you say he, you're not making like a gender reference. That's actually his name, right? He.
Yes.
Okay. For a second, I was like, is that a pronoun thing? Are we doing a pronoun thing? Oh, no. That's exactly what
No.
Okay.
So, thank you. That was unintentional, but really funny. He's running against Jon Tester, who is that last bastion of this idea where you can be from the Mountain West, you can be rugged individual and still be a Democrat who believes in things like Social Security and healthcare for most people. They decided that they were going to have really strict voter ID laws where you could not register same day. You had to have an ID. And guess what? The Republican judge upholds that. And who does that discount in Montana? All of these sovereign state dudes who are, the mountain men, like, no
Right.
government's going to take my ID and get my information. So congratulations. You are suppressing your own voters, Donald Trump.
Yeah, God bless them. I always thought, people who decided they just weren't going to pay their taxes and all that, I mean, they didn't work out well for Wesley Snipes, but I guess, Wesley Snipes was also black. So we'll talk about that.